is D'Onofrio. We contacted them about a week ago. They're willing to redo the painting of the rails, and they're willing to put a sealer on the planks on the boardwalk. I want to see what type of product that they're going to use, because they claim that they're going to use the same product. It could happen again. And I want to see what type of...
Well, the other problem is that normally when you lay down planking over brackish water, you have to treat the planks before you lay them down, because you're going to do a superficial sealing on the top, which means that the sides and the bottom are not going to get treated, and they're just going to rot out underneath it, and the top's going to be there.
Well, the treatment was recommended, and there was a different type of planking that was recommended. So, but that wasn't done. This is what we have now, the planks. So what they offer to do is to put down a sealer. Now I have to see what type of product they're going to use, if it's adequate.
Right, but it's after the fact now, so it's too late. But they should have treated the planks before they laid them down. Otherwise,
they were going to. They were going to impregnate it with a chemical to preserve the planking. But the option was not to do it.
Well,
yeah.
I scared them away.
Who decided not to do it?
That's before me now.
yeah, it was just way before you. But no, it was supposed to be completely treated wood, and we originally hoped to get the same kind of wood that we used on the meditation steps, which is. But that was way too expensive.
Yeah, that was way too expensive.
And we couldn't get it because they were building everything else, the New Jersey shore and everything stuff. But even still, they said we were going to use specially treated wood, and I assumed that it would have been sealed, because you have to seal it before you put it down. So they can only seal the top now, which means that the underside rots out.
So we'll be added again.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that wasn't done because of the expense of it.
But it's gonna be more expensive in the long run. We have to stop doing this.
Well, they can't take it up now.
I know we get, in the future, we must do the best we can from the beginning, from the onset, because
But it wasn't that hard for them to treat the wood before they laid the wood down, and then lay the wood down. Once it's in place, then it's harder to treat. One, because you can't, drip the stuff into the water over a waterway, and two, they can't, it's again, they're not gonna be able to treat the bottom, on the underside, which is what rots out first anyway.
So we'll be added
So,
again.
another couple of years, they're gonna have to replace the decking
It'll
again.
have to be replaced. That's why we have to do the best we can from the beginning.
Yeah,
And that Brazilian wood is nice.
yeah, but we can't get it.
Maybe later, by the time we have to replace it. Maybe by the time we replace it, we can get it. Okay.
Excuse me? Is there a plan for what the West Pier will be used for once the rehab is completed, for next summer or spring?
I have to tell you, we don't have a plan because we put out the RFP, we got no response. Is that, Francis?
Correct.
We got no response. So we did have, we put out chairs for just enjoyment and had, trucks. So at this point, we really haven't thought about it.
Will you think about it before the spring, or is it not high on the agenda?
Right now, it's getting through the winter and the Cornell and the big building season, to tell you the truth. During the spring, we can put out the RFP again, but what the problem is with the West Pier is we don't have electricity and we don't have water, and the cost is prohibitive to provide both, because you'd have to get the lines from practically across the street. And it's very, very expensive, and we can't start building, we can't have more trucks to put in a line like that. And that's one of the big problems, because you could have something some kind of kiosk there if you had running water, if you had electricity, but we don't.
So,
You
as
guys
we did last.
You guys in Southtown have any ideas for use of it without the electric and the water?
Not off the top of my head right now.
Okay.
Right.
I'm
Okay,
serious.
Yeah.
If anybody's
So
got
you
some
haven't thought
ideas,
about it either
we
then?
can do.
Yeah.
Well, other than putting better tables and chairs out there.
Okay, so last November, December, we
Better?
Sturdier.
last
Sturdier
November, December, we
things you
put
can't
out,
throw in the water.
actually,
Right.
December, January, we put out the agendas for the various office meetings, special topics, and things like the community programs and the spring preparations we did in beginning of February. So when they sit down and come out with the special topics for each month on the ops meetings, we will be doing a meeting about spring preparations sometime in midwinter. But I haven't put out the agenda, haven't even thought about what the agenda will be for the spring yet.
And we're willing to take suggestions on it, that's not the point, it's just like, it's very difficult, and we already put the RFP out and got we put a lot of work into that RFP and got nothing. You know, maybe when, Cornell was a little more up and running, you know, it's not, because right now there's just no interest.
We'll try to find some.
Yeah. And then we'll also be competing, that space as far as foot traffic, will be competing with the open spaces and food that they're gonna have at Cornell. As far as people who wanna sit down outside and eat, they're gonna have their own stuff up there, so we have to figure out how to work all these programs together. West Pier, we got that.
Nonprofits don't seem to get together and do stuff. Like if that were me, I would talk to the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts and everybody else and talk to Riverwalk and say, let's get together, we'll have them running back and forth delivering the stuff and just go out and let the kids take orders and go get it and bring it back and you know, they get tips and then they've got something to do and people have someplace to go and you don't need to run any water, you need to run any kids.
Well, that idea was proposed to RIOC before, to RIOC before this administration, and it was rejected by RIOC.
Well,
Maybe
RIOC wouldn't run it anyway.
Yeah,
No, they
RIOC
would not.
can't.
Right.
I mean, RIOC would put the tables and chairs out, and
Yeah,
then the Boy
'cause
Scouts
that's
or
what we
whomever
do,
would make a deal with
yeah.
Riverwalk, and I'm saying the Boy Scouts could be the youth center, it could be a million people,
Well,
just
just also in, as
run
far
it
as
forward.
if we had like more community event things like music with it, we have to. There has been people approached about doing some jazz stuff down there and a few other things, but we haven't really gotten the programming.
We had concerts there 5 years ago. We had concerts every
Yeah,
single week in the
there's-
summer with electric, with amplifiers.
Portable electric, yeah. There's as much as we can be doing, but
Generator.
it was very distracted summer, unfortunately. There are a bunch of things we wanted to do.
Anyway, I would get the nonprofits on it and come up with some ideas.
We signed it to RIOC.